Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? The show where we dig through old parchment and smack modern nonsense upside its head like that dumb friend you have that gets you in trouble when you go out and ask if liberty still matters. Today's show, the Seventh Amendment. Yes, the one about juries in civil cases. And for those of you who don't know, there are two different types of cases in America and most of the world, civil and criminal. If you've ever been sued by a landlord or hit by a DoorDash driver, or just wanted to know who decides how much you're owed in court, then this is the show for you today. The founders loved juries. The British Crown? Not so much. They were not a fan of it. Let's find out why this right still matters in 2025. The historical context, because with all the amendments, we're going to have to talk about the historical context and why it matters. We're going back to the 1770s. King George is denying colonists the right to jury trials. That's only in civil disputes, especially when his crown court is involved. The founders, they didn't love that idea. They believed in trial by jury, and it's hugely important. So when they wrote the Bill of Rights, which we've talked about in a couple other ones, how British courts were different than American courts, they gave us the Seventh Amendment, and here's how it goes. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. Now, you may think $20 is not a lot, but it was back then. It was a lot of money. And we need to understand that this would be the equivalent of a couple hundred, maybe a couple $1,000s today. This clause was about serious disputes, even though like $20 is not serious to us anymore. And it wasn't also not about petty grievances. And common law, that means civil cases, not criminal. The founders wanted ordinary people, not royalist judges, to decide the outcomes of civil cases. And we're going to go back to an oldie but a goodie, Patrick Henry. The very famous Patrick Henry who said, "Give me liberty or give me death," called juries the democratic branch of the judiciary. And in a time without ballot boxes, that really matters. Supreme Court cases, we're going all the way to the top on this one. And there's only 3 of them, but they're heavy hitters. And the cases you need to know are, the first case from 1974 is Curtis v. Lothar. Curtis, a black woman, sued a landlord for racial discrimination. And the landlord's response was, discrimination cases aren't covered by the Seventh Amendment to the Constitution. The Supreme Court said, and this is the good part, nice try, you bigot. They ruled that if a civil rights claim involves monies or money damages, then you get to have a jury trial, not a bench trial. Because in criminal case, you can have a bench trial as well. And see, that's modern law and a timeless right. And we need to understand that. Case number 2, the Chauffeurs v. Terry from 1990. Union members sued their union for not having their backs. They wanted back pay. About par for the course. And the court created a 2-part test. Was this kind of claim a thing in 1791? The second part is, are they asking for money, not just action? And the answer to both is yes and yes. And what were the results? They got a jury trial. This case gave modern workers a way to fight for fairness. Be they Uber drivers trying to get collective bargaining rights, doesn't matter. They have a right to a jury trial. The third and final case is Feltner v. Columbia Pictures, 1998. Feldner aired TV shows without permission. Columbia Pictures sued for copyright infringement. The judge said, "No jury needed. I'll decide on the damages." And the Supreme Court stepped in, slapped him on the head, and said, "Absolutely not. If it's a civil case involving monies, a jury decides the damage. Copyright case or not." The Seventh Amendment in 2025. So why should you care about the Seventh Amendment in 2025? Because civil lawsuits are everywhere. Class actions, check. Gig worker disputes, check. Data breaches, check. IP lawsuits, for those of you who don't know, IP stands for intellectual property. And guess what? You get a jury unless you go through arbitration or mediation. And that jury means regular people, not a cozy judge deciding what's fair. And we know the judge may have received some monies for their campaign. Now, some people will say juries are emotional, they're slow, and they're unpredictable. Those are all three valid arguments, but they're not good arguments. Democracy is slow, emotional, and unpredictable, but everyone will say those are good things. And this is better than a system where the guy in a robe always sides with the guy in the $5,000 suit that gave him some money for his campaign for re-election. Now, power to the people. The Seventh Amendment is more than a footnote in history and a footnote in the Constitution. It's a promise that justice belongs to the people, not the powerful, even though the system, we do have a two-tiered justice system in this country. The founders got it. The courts defended it. And in 2025, guess what? We still need it. So next time you hear about a big lawsuit, class action, companies being sued, remember, you have the right to be judged by your peers, not by a political appointee. That's right. Those are some rights worth defending. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments below. Now, you can follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Radio, Rumble, YouTube, and on Twitter. And thank you for tuning in today to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? I will see you next Monday. If you learned something today, share this with a friend. That's what I'm going to do when I upload this. Tell a lawyer. I'm going to probably also do that too. Tell your landlord, definitely not doing that. And then tell your dog. Your dog will appreciate the interaction. And as always, stay free, stay informed, stay accountable, and I'll see you all next Monday.